Hey guys, Grumpy here with what will be the final episode of Silent Nights. So, in between episodes, I did a little scouting, and I went looking for a fight that I alluded to at the end of the previous episode, which is the hypershunt fight. I found the hypershunt. It is located. Where is it? It is located here in Zuma, or Zumu, I should say. Pretty unassuming star system, very close to the core worlds, which is surprising. But that is where the hypersharp fight is. I'm gonna take on that fight. Originally, I wanted to take on the bounty that Ryan Arroyo presents to you, but in order to get that bounty, it would take entirely too long to grind his reputation, uh, just to get it. And I want to wrap this series up as quickly as possible. So instead, what we're gonna do is take on a I would argue an equally challenging fight, that being the hypershunt fight. So in order to take on that fight, we're gonna have to change around our skills. No longer are we gonna be industry focused. It really doesn't matter since this is the last fight in the game. Our industry doesn't matter after this. So we're gonna go ahead and reassign our skills. Now we aren't max level, so we are still missing 3 skills that we could potentially get, but that's fine. What we're going to take is going to be field modulation. The reason being is we want to reduce the amount of flux that we spend on our while we're in phase space. We want to take target analysis so that we can do damage, additional damage to capital ships, which I believe the shards are when they're in their full form, or they might be cruisers maybe. We're going to want less armor damage taken. Probably gonna want less hull damage taken, and then that unlocks the final tiers. We're definitely gonna want to take systems expertise, which is going to help us out in the ziggurat. As far as anything else goes, I think we're pretty good here. Yeah, we might look to get energy weapon mastery, but I don't really suspect that we'll be that close to the shards that it'll make too much of a difference. Everything else, I think we'll keep the same. We won't need coordinated maneuvers, that's for sure. And I don't believe we'll need missile specialization, because I don't believe the ziggurat has any missiles equipped on it at this point. So if that's the case, we might as well take tactical drills, get a little more weapon damage for the entire fleet. Either that or cybernetic augmentation. We'll just take the weapon damage for now. Keep it simple. So, here's the fleet. Let's put back some of the crew and fuel. Here's the fleet. I think the fleet is alright as is. I don't really see very many changes that need to be made. There's a lot of ion cannons and ion pulsers. The reason being is I want to cause as much EMP damage to the shards as I can. They are dangerous, but without the weapons, they're just a floating hull. So we definitely want to take advantage of that. I do have 2 shades. I would have 3, but I lost 1 in the previous episode. We're not going to talk about that. And then I do have my 3 dooms. If I had a 4th doom, I'd feel a lot more comfortable with this fight. But with 3 dooms, we should be able to overwhelm one of the shards. Basically, I plan to split the shards in half, focus down one, and then come back and finish the other. With 3 dooms versus 1 shard, as well as the ziggurat, it should be it's not gonna be an easy kill. but it should be manageable. But if we had a fourth Doom, I would feel a lot more comfortable with the fight. I'm bringing all the Harbingers so that I'm not controlling them, but hopefully we get lucky and their overloads are timed in conjunction with like mines or with Reapers or my Tachyon Lances, something, so that we can land a pretty significant punch on them. The only ship that's kind of useless here are these Antimatter Blaster Afflictors. Shards kill extremely quickly, or I guess I should call them Tesseracts. Tesseracts kill extremely quickly, so I'm not sure if they'll be able to even survive their bursts. Where these come in handy though is just landing on their shields and creating that flux pressure. So even if they only get a few rounds off, it'll probably be worth it, because then we can overload the Tesseract from there. Alright, that is the fleet. This is the plan. We're gonna head over to Zuma now and go meet our demise or victory. Alright, see you in a second. And here we are in Zumu, and here is the Coronal Hypershunt. There are some roving remnants in this system. It is a medium beacon, I believe. Low beacon. They wanted to interact with us. Our fleet is too large for that. So we're gonna go ahead and emergency burn in, and go ahead and engage. So we do pilot the Ziggurat for this fight. I think it's gonna be very important that we subdue the Tesseract, so that we can actually deal as much damage to it as possible. I'm gonna use some of my Afflictors and Shades in order to harass the other one, pull it to the other side of the map, and then with the Harbingers and Dooms we should be able to pick the other one apart. So a simple divide and conquer. Oh, that's something I didn't consider. Not having enough deployment points for this fight. There are no engagement, there are no objectives, so we can't get more. Three Dooms and a Ziggurat? 2 Harbies? Okay. We'll use 4 frigates to distract the other one, and then it'll be a Harbinger. I might as well take the one with the exotic weapons on it. 3 Dooms and a Ziggurat. Alright, let's see how this goes. We'll go ahead and peel off the frigates to the side. We'll go ahead and peel off the main group to the front. Alright, we'll go ahead and issue the harass command on this one, and we'll go ahead and issue the eliminate command on the other. Now the frigates should get to the target first, so they'll gain the attention of one of them. Hopefully they don't gain the attention of both, and then it's my job to subdue this one. Nice. So first phase down. We do have to wrangle our units back together, because unfortunately every time it splits, which you'll see in a second, we do lose track of it. I would really like it if my Doom did not tank all those shots to the face. Alright. Looks like we may have to switch and move our moats over to the side. This Tesseract is not too pleased with being toyed with. Hopefully we can get rid of this shard first. Let's see what we can do. Nice. Alright. As long as we can keep feeding it. As long as we can keep feeding it frigate bait, we might be able to pull through. Can't even keep up with it, yikes. There we go. There we go. Now that we're close enough, wow, I was not expecting that. Now that we're close enough to the other Tesseract, we can start disabling it with our moats. Our fleet should have the rest of this covered. I'm gonna go ahead and reinforce. Yikes. That's the Cascade Emitter, a very lethal weapon system. Alright. Okay. We should have this thing cornered now, more or less. But it is definitely not to be underestimated, nor trifled with. Okay. At this point, we are out of reinforcements. This is all we have. I'm gonna send my moats to this area. I'm gonna issue an eliminate order on the larger shard. Nice. And then let's see if we can't clean up this fight. Issue a full assault order, and this should get the job done. If possible, I would like my fleet to stay together, but I guess that's not an option. What we'll do is we'll be smart here. We'll pull the Harbingers back behind us, and we'll do something like this. So by pulling the harbingers behind us, it kind of forces the shards towards us. Or it'll lead to our demise. We'll pull the harbingers back as well. Or we'll pull the other half of our fleet back as well. And then there was one. Alright. Now we can issue the full assault. So a little bit of mismanagement on my part. But we still get the job done here. Nice. A very costly fight, but one that we can handle. Just proves phase ships are some of the most broken ships in the game. What's left? Oh, like probably a single. Yeah, like a single. Yeah, fighter. Whew. Yikes. Oh man, everything including the kitchen sink, but we are successful. Really proud of my fleet here. The only way I think we could have managed it better was if our flictors and shades, our initial battery, hadn't failed in distracting the first tesseract. Like kept it occupied, bounced around, alternated, subbed in and out, so they didn't get destroyed. Then we could have been even more aggressive versus the other tesseract. The whole fight, they were like pretty much back to back. Our only saving grace was that our moats were able to effectively subdue both at once. But yeah, not a clean fight by any means, but a victory nonetheless. Let's go ahead and recover our ships. Oh, let's see which ones are lost permanently to the ether. We lose a DPS afflictor, 2 DPS afflictors, and another shade. Just the cost of doing business. Alright, so let's recover them. And then let's pick through the wreckage and see what our spoils are. So we get that Rift Cascade emitter, which is really nice. Volatile particle driver, 2 cryo flamers. I don't really know if those are good on phase ships. A cryo blaster, which is good on a phase ship. Disintegrator, resonators. These are really nice. They're unlimited kinetic missiles. They use flux instead of ammunition. Some shock repeaters, some point defense. Mini pulsers are good. They do a lot of kinetic damage, and they're on charge, so you can fire them off, go back into phase, and then fire them again. Rift lances, everyone's favorite weapon, and then some standard weapons. So we will take all. Leave behind the metal. We'll leave behind the heavy machinery for a second. Grab it. And click through. So this is where I'm going to end the series. That final fight was a lot of fun. Very challenging. Honestly, I don't think we have the supplies, or if I check, I'm surprised we even have the crew to make it back home. But thank you for joining me on our wonderful journey here. It's been a blast making Silent Nights. I still am not truly confident with phase ships, but I understand them a lot more. And I will be incorporating them into future fleets. They serve a very interesting space on the battlefields, which is kind of distraction and ambushing. which normally I give to like my regular frigates, but phase ships just do that much better in that role. The only the main drawback with them though is that in the AI's hands they make suboptimal decisions. They tend to attack shields. They attack targets individually instead of ganging up on them. They'll rush. They'll flux themselves out constantly. You definitely have to watch that. Um, but every once in a while they'll surprise you and help you turn the tide of battle. Anyway, hope you guys enjoyed the series. And other than that, Grumpy out. One more thing, real quick. The save file for this will be, or for the final fight, will be in the description below. It'll also be on the Discord. So if you do want to try the battle with the fleet that I have, if you want to make any changes, you can go ahead and use that. There will be a tier list following this video. Also, as far as Star Sector goes, I will continue to make content for Star Sector, but as a whole, I'm going to be slowing down. I'm just very busy at work. I have been for the last few weeks, going into the holidays, and it'll probably continue on. I apologize for the lack of content that's going to be coming out over the next few weeks. I've gained a very large following, more than I ever expected. When I started my first How to Star Sector guides, I honestly didn't even expect 200 subscribers, let alone 2,500, almost closing in on 3,000 maybe in the next 2 months or so. So thank you everyone for all the support. It really does mean a lot to me. Yeah. The next series, I'll announce it when I come up with the idea for it. I have a few ideas that I'm currently deciding between, but we'll see what I decide on ultimately. Yeah. Besides that, thank you for following me on this journey, and I appreciate all the support that I get. But other than that, Grumpy out for real this time. And now I'd like to give a very special thank you to my supporters at the Explorer tier, Mark, Zenlon, and Randall Porter, and at the Starfarer tier, Patrick and Kriltic. Thank you so much for supporting the channel. It means a lot to me. I will continue to run ad-free content on the channel, but if you do wish to support, then considering a membership would be the most direct way. Other than that, Grumpy out.